Hello again. This is the course of information system development, and we are still discussing about the Django. And this is the continuation of the Django Basic. Okay, last time we already learned about the Python, and today we are going to learn about the Django Basic. Let's move on the next section, which is about the Hello World in Django. And we are going. Sorry. Oh yeah, this is about the HTML in Django. So we are going to discuss how can we deal with the HTML in Django. So in Django, we have what we call as the template loading. Okay, what is the template loading? So we are using the Django. It is a convenient and powerful API for loading the templates from this, with the goal of removing redundancy both in your template loading costs and in your template themselves. So please don't confuse with the word template, because the word template is the kind of folder. Okay, and you can use the folder to place all your HTML file, and those HTML file can be a kind of yeah, they call it in it is the files is placed in the template. Okay, and the template, we will kind of use the API. What is the API? It is the application programming interface. So the HTML will be connected to the Python file. So first you will need to tell the framework where you store the templates, and you need to figure out in your setting files. So before we continue with the details, I will let you know how can we create the Django project. Okay. So first, let's make the first Django. You can open your PyCharm. I hope that now you are having your PyCharm. Please don't see this left panel, because I already make several projects here. And if you already make your projects, then you can see those in your left panel. But if you are the first time to run the PyCharm, then maybe there is no project in the left panel. In the first time when you run the PyCharm, you will see there are three functions here: create new project, open, get from version control, and also you can configure. So the configure here means you can do more things, like you can add the plugins, you can run the configuration templates for new project, and so on. And if you run the PyCharm for the first time, I guess last time we already learned that the PyCharm professional require the university email address. If you're using your university email address, then you can just log in with your university email address. Once the PyCharm verify your email address, then you can use the professional version for, I think, 1 year for free. Okay, so before we deal with the details of the Django, so we need to make a new project. Okay, I put here the name of the project is first Django, because I already have the first Django. I will just create a new project here. Okay, so when you create a new project, you can see in the left panel there are many functions in the PyCharm. You can see Django, Flash. Flash is also one of the web framework in Python. And you can see there's a Google App Engine, so you can connect with the Google App Engine and you can type your code in PyCharm. There's another framework pyramid and so on. But they are just focusing on only one web framework, which is Django. And you can define the title of the project. Let's say if you want to make the first Django, I think I already have that one, so I will just change it. Okay, Django first. Okay, and you can see here there are two options or two settings. So the first setting is about the interpreter. So the interpreter that you are going to use, you can choose whether you want to use the new environment. This is the virtual environment, and the other is using the existing interpreter. For now, let's use the existing interpreter. we will consider the new environment later in the future, okay? Because we are going to learn about the code on Django framework. The new environment will not be so effective if you want to do with more uh, functions like the deployment of Django. Then the virtual environment may be necessary. About the more setting, you can see here the template language is Django. You can choose the other option, which is Jinja. I will not use the Jinja for now. Let's use the Django. And there is a templates folder. So in PyCharm, they can set the templates folder at the initial stage. And in this folders, you will put all the HTML files. So let's just use this folder name because it will not be so confusing in the future. And if you check on the internet, there are many examples about Django, and most of them they use the folder templates to place the HTML file. So I will just keep this as the basic setting, and we will continue with this. And also don't forget to enable Django admin. This is a function to manage the database and to manage your server. So by keeping this Django admin, it will help you to manage your database later. So I will create this project, and this is the new environment in your Django. If you check on the Django first, you can see there are some files on the folder Django first. So the first parent or the parent directory will have another directory, and inside the Django first directory there will be 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 files, and you need to check only some of the files, like for example settings. So as I mentioned to you in the PPT, the settings.py, it is a place to put your template. So this is already defined by the settings. So the templates will be the place to store your HTML files. So I don't need to put more code here because it is automatically created when you use the PyCharm professionals. And the other things that you need to figure out is the URLs, WSGI. So we will learn more all those things. And in the PPT, I already gave you, if you are using the community edition, you need to build the virtual environment. So the virtual environment means the Python is not in your installation folder, but you will include the Python inside of the Django project. In that case, your project will be more heavier because the virtual environment will consume some of the resources. If I don't mistake, it consume about like 30 or 40 megabyte. Okay, if you run the PyCharm for the first time, find the existing interpreter. So I hope that the computer can automatically figure out the existing interpreter. But if you run the PyCharm for the first time, I guess you need to choose which interpreter that you want to use. In my case, I choose the Python 3.7, which is based on the Anaconda. You can also use that. You can use the same Python file as mine. Yeah. You can redefine the templates folder. So this templates folder, yeah, you can change the name, but of course it will make you confused later. I just recommend you to use the same name. Okay. So the next thing that you can do is um, the basic Django. Here they already provide all the things, and you can just start it. Okay, once you start this Django, then you will see the result in your environment. Let's see. Um, okay, I have this one. Oh, I just opened this one. I will run this. You can see in the top right part, you can see there's one button. This is to run the Django first. or you can press Shift F10, yeah, Shift F10 to run this. So I will just click this one, and once you click, it will run your Django first. And yeah, you can see this one is executing one file, which is manage.py, and then it will run the server at the port number 8000. So if there is no problem, then there will be no red color. Forget the red color means there are some errors. If you cannot see the red color statement, it means your projects are fine. And you can see there is one link here, http 127.0.0.1 colon 8000. So it is the port number and the link to your first website. So this is the first website that you created in the Django. So without doing nothing, you can see the environment. You can see the web page. This is the initial web page from Django. If you can run this website, it means your PyCharm works well, and your system already connected to the Python.exe. Now, if you finish with this part, okay, I already show you. If you're finished with this, I guess it is now okay to continue with the next lesson. Remember that the default port number is 8000. If you already install some software with the same port number, then it may conflict, so you may have some errors, and you may have questions. What is it? 127.0.0.1. So based on the uh, what else? So they have kind of rule. If you are accessing your local host, so the number is the IP address in the local host. If you want to know this one, you can change also to the local host, something like this one. Okay, so the local host means the local in your computer. So your computer have run the server, and it shows the website as you want later if you deploy the website in the internet. Now, because we are not using any server, so you can just use localhost, and it appears the web as if you already upload your web, or as if you publish your web into the internet. Because we have no server, then I will skip this one. Let's just use the server in the PyCharm. Okay. So for the second example, how can you add HTML file? So in this case, we still have no HTML file. So in the second example, we will simply use HTML tag. Okay. How can you use the HTML tag? So there are three steps that you need to know. The first step is to add the views. So you can create a new views py.py. Okay. So where is it? So it should be in the folder first Django. Inside the first Django, then you need to create a file. So I think in the folder first Django, to right click on your mouse, and then click new and Python file and views.py. Let's see. Okay. So this is the Django first. This is the folder, and you can press on the left click. And after you have these items, you can go to the new, and there are many items. Okay, you can say file, new scratch file, directory, Python package, Python file. Okay, because we are going to make a new Python file, which is the views.py. So we just choose the Python file. Okay, the existing, this is file is just a common file, so the file can be text file or any type of files. You can just use this one. Because we are going to make a specific file, which is Python file, then you can just click this one, Python file, and then put the name views. Okay, the first time it is blank, and you can just copy and paste this code into your environment views.py. Okay, so we have this HTTP response. So we have the index, and the HTTP response will be the hello world. So if you run this later, you will see the hello world in your website. After you update the fuse.py, let's do the next step to update the file URL as .py. So open the files here. Oops. You can open the files URL as .py. Okay, after you have this file, there are some statements, and the statement is about to import the admin and import the path. Okay, and for this I already put the examples. You can import from .import fuse. It means I want to include the fuse.py that I just created here into this environment. And if I pick a path, and the path, if it is nothing like this one, so I will do the fuse.index. Okay, fuse is the name of the file, and index is the name of the function. So you already know how to make functions in Python, and this is a Python, and I want to call this the index function in the file fuse. So using the path, so first I need to import anything from the fuse, and I'm accessing the fuse.index. After you have this one, you can try to restart. Okay, you can try to restart the code. If you restart this one, okay, you will get the hello world. Okay, where is the hello world? The hello world is in the fuse.py. Here you call the index, and then you will see the hello world in the HTML tag. Now, after you have the second example, let's move on the third example. In the third example, you want to add an HTML file. I don't want to add just HTML tag, but HTML file. So let's use the HTML file. For every chapter, later you need to modify this one. Okay. The first is to add or modify fuse.py, and then urls.py and HTML files. The fuse.py and urls.py can be located in the project folder or in the new folder. Okay, so later we will learn about the new folder, but now just focus on the project folder. Before you start with this example, delete the fuse.py in the parent folder. So you have this fuse.py. Let me delete this part. Okay, so you can also do the same. You can just delete this. Yes, just delete. Okay. After you delete, like, yes, you need to modify this one. Okay, later we will do it one by one. So the first is we want to create a new folder, and the new folder is polls. And okay, let's see. I want to make a new folder, and where is the folder? The folder should be in the same tree or in the same branch with the folder that you created before. So in my case, okay, in my case, you have the Django first. So you need to go here, and you need to make a new. And what is the package? So you need to make a new folder. The new folder is a Python package. Don't use that directory, because the Python package can initially create the Python file as you need. So we are making the, oops, okay, I'm making a new Python package. Okay. Oh, okay. So what is the package name? So let's just use the same that I explained, polls, and you will have a new folder or a new Python package. And inside of the Python package, inside of this polls, you can create a new Python file. And what is a Python file? Let's make fuse.py. Oops, sorry. Ah, oh, something why I need to make a Python file. So the Python file is fuse.py. Okay, so the fuse.py here is the uh, yeah, it is the file to later show into the website. So you can just copy and paste this one, and the fuse.py is something like this one. Now I'm making this for the fuse. It means this is for presenting in the web, and there's one function, we call it index, and this is the way to define the API to connect to the HTML file. So you can see now I'm going to include the hello world.html. After you do the first step, okay, this is the step on the fuse.py. You can go to the next is to define the urls.py. Okay, so in the urls.py, this is okay. You need to create a new file urls.py in the folder polls. Okay, so you can just copy and paste, and then you need to make a new urls. So this urls also a Python file. So the Python file is urls, and just copy and paste. It means if you access these polls, you need to access the index. So this index will be in this folder. So the same with what we already defined. Before we did this, the example, we have the URLs from the path, and we are making from the pulse, and we want to get the file views. And after you connect this file views with .index, yeah, I can move forward with making the HTML file. So for this HTML file, you can make a new file hello underbar world.html in the folder templates. So if you're here, then you can make in the folder templates. Okay, here is the folder templates. Then you can make a new file, and the file should be specifically about HTML. So I am making the HTML file, and the name is hello world. And okay, it creates all the tag automatically, but I do not want to use this one. So you just Control A and then just Control V from the example that I gave here. Now, I don't want to discuss for now. Let's move on first. Now we are making the URLs. Okay, what is the URLs? So if the first URLs that you created before, this is about the URLs for the web name and what is the function that you want to include. But for the second URLs, this is the path or the link that you want to use if you're accessing your application. So this is the additional code. As I mentioned to you, you need to modify something. Yeah. So you don't need this fuse. Okay, because we already delete the fuse, and then yeah, what is it? Yeah, you have the new path. Okay, something like this one, but you have an error. What is this error? Okay, unresolved reference include. So this one, I guess you need to have the include. Okay, you can see here there's an include. So you need to call the library, and then you can use it here. Now after you save, then you can try one more time with your local host. Okay, what happened? Oops, there's something wrong. So this is an error, page not found. What does it mean? You can check here using the URL con defining Django first. So Django try to use this URL patterns. So yeah, you can see there's an admin and pulse. So if you are going to pulse, this is the folder that you created before, then you will see hello hub and name hub. How come? How can you say about this one? Yeah, if you are making the if if you're just using the basic link, then there is nothing because the link to the index has been deleted. So whenever you are doing the web application, then you need to specify the app name. If you have the path like this one, it means I want to access this path and I want to show the HTML file. Okay, so in this case, I'm making the URLs. So this is the URLs in the index, and for this one, it is the URLs when the person access polls. So the thing that you need to understand is about the tag and comments. Okay, what is tag? Okay, so if you go to the HTML file, in the HTML file there are some new comment which is the name. So this name is unique because this is a variable name, and the variable name you will get it from the Python. And the things here is you need to use two curly bracket. Okay, one, two for the oh sorry for the opening, and then one, two for the closing. Okay, and this is to parse the variable from Python to the web. If you check on your code in the function index, the name is half. Okay, so name here is a variable, and as you know in Python, there is no strict data type. So half is a string, then you will show the string into the web. And if you change the, for example, I don't want to use half, and I want to, what is where is it? So it is the py. So I don't want to use half, I want to change to South Korea, for example. Okay, then after you change this one, if you run, then you refresh, then the result will be South Korea. Okay, and the other thing that you need to understand is about comments. So comments in the Django, it is just a comment to indicate the description. In order to create the comments, you need to put the shop. Okay, the shop. Okay, for example, here in the hello world, no, in this one, or no, in this one. Hmm. Okay. I guess oh, okay, yeah, here. So you have the name, and then you have two curly braces, and then you want to put a comment or some description so that for example other developer want to continue your project, and they will know what is the meaning of this name. Okay, and the comment will not be output when the template is rendered. A comment cannot span multiple lines, so if you have comments and you want to put into the multiple lines, it's not possible. This limitation improves template parsing performance. So in the following template, the render output will look exactly the same as the template. So the comment tag will not be passed as comment. Like this one, you have the shop and in separate line, so it also will not be executed. So this is wrong. Yeah. Okay, I guess that is all for the first hour. So we are going to continue with the next about the template tag. So keep in your monitor. You will see more videos later. Thank you.